Growing up, St Anne's, Nottingham, England, 1969. What street was I born on? I remember my mum showing me the hospital where I was born, in the room where I was born. What hospital was it now? I can't remember the name. It's not there no more, it's a pub. It's funny, every time I pass that pub, even to this day from my hometown, it's funny how I look up and even though, I don't know, it might be a bedroom or whatever it is now, I say to myself, I was born in that window. Nottingham, otherwise known years ago as Snottingham.
Oh, see.
Yeah, because of the slums. The inner city, once again, go back to Nottingham Castle. So you had Nottingham Castle up on the high ground, and that would look down onto the slums, which would now be Nottingham Marketplace. So to the local people, their own sort of language, around them times, I think it was 1800, something like that, you know, nickname would have been Snottingham, not Nottingham. So there you go. History lesson, people.
Okay.
Growing up, 70s as a kid, I know like most kids, I'm just growing up. You know, nonchalant, quiet, in the shadows. Played football as a kid for Nottingham Forest youth team. So back in the day, trained with the Forest team. This is when Brian Clough was the manager. I was a goalkeeper. Who used to train me, I remember the guy used to take us, Coach Brian was one of the coaches at Nottingham Forest. And then along the lines, you know, for me, I'd meet like Hans van Brooklyn, who was the goalkeeper of Nottingham Forest at the time. But once again, the problem what happened there, as you got older, coming into your teens, that got overtaken by the street. Hip hop came, b-boying, breaking, writing. And so all of a sudden, my direction from being a footballer, or wanting to be a footballer, I used to be a middle distance runner as well, so I could have done either two, middle distance or play football. So both I could do. But music got me, dancing got me. This thing what came over from America, the package, we got the package. Hip hop, b-boys, graffiti, DJing. You know, the media pull it together and call it hip hop. But if we take it from a writer's point of view, graffiti writing, it was there before hip hop was even created. But I'd say the UK, Paris, Amsterdam got it before anybody. And so how our development, you know, as creatives within dance, within art, within music started then. So we were sort of the UK's first hip hop kids, first generation. So we're looking early 80s in London, 81. But it didn't develop till 83. I started writing off seeing like the b-boy terminology. It was just break, pop, pow, whatever, you know? I didn't even know about writing my name. I knew nothing about having a name, zero. Kids called me Mongoose, hated it, fucking hated it with a passion. That probably tells you anything how I said it, all right? No, because I had a BMX. I had a low budget Mongoose BMX. Yeah, and then robbed the other kids to make the bike better. Following the older kids, that's what the older kids did. This is how I first became a b-boy. I saw something in the Nottingham Evening Post. It was black and white then, no colour shit like now. It was all black and white, and it was a picture of the Rocksteady crew. Of course, I didn't know it was the Rocksteady crew then. And I seen it was a black and white picture, and it was someone flipping somebody over with their hands, and I was like, oh shit. Because at school I liked gymnastics, I was sporty. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, what's this? And music and something different. And it was this little article, and it says at the Midlands Arts Cinema, or was it Centre, one or the other, one night showing only, Wild Style. I didn't know what the fuck Wild Style was. I just read this thing and it said New York something, America something, and that's what got me. Like something I knew nothing about. You know what I mean? I was an inquisitive kid. Even from young I was inquisitive. You know, so it was that. I didn't know it was b-boying, graffiti, whatever. So I convinced two kids in my school to go with me. We went to this cinema, little low budget cinema in the centre of Nottingham. Went in there. There was one other person in the cinema. And I remember he sat right at the front, this guy did. We sat at the back. Three of us, so there's four people in this cinema. Cinema held probably about 100, 150 people, but four people in this room. Film came on, watched it. There was b-boying, breaking, whatever, the whole storyline. Didn't really pay much attention to it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, right, okay. And as far as the writing, graffiti on the trains, literally it was there, but I didn't pay any mind to it. That scene, when they were dancing on the floor, that little 2-minute, 3-minute scene, it was the shit to me. Let me tell you, that one thing, so I sat there for 90 minutes, paid not much attention to this film, even though years later I know historically what it means to me and what it is now, you know. But at the time, I'm 13 years old. You know what I mean? I just was looking to spin on my back. So we came out the cinema and we went to, what was it, Columbus Street in Nottingham, central Nottingham. And it was the first McDonald's. It just opened in '83. And across from the McDonald's, I think we went and got some milkshakes or something. Across from McDonald's was a shoe store. And the entrance for the shoe store, it was marbled floor or something. So we got these shakes, and out of nowhere, I just decided to sort of roll around on the floor. And I rolled around on the floor. I couldn't tell you what I did, and I went in some kind of a circle. And I must have looked like I was actually, you know, I've got epilepsy anyway, but it must have looked like I was having a fit because it was a bag of shit. And the two guys who were with me went, "You're doing it! You're doing it! You're doing it!" If that had never happened, I wouldn't be here now. Right, paintings. Pulse Tracy 168 painting, collaboration painting. Very rare for Tracy 168 to do something with somebody. Other paintings, abstract painting 2009. Call it Method in My Madness. And it might look like scribble to some, but there's structure behind it when you break it down. Did I give a name to this? No, I didn't give a name to this. Another painting. Abstract characters, different bits. It is what it is. If you're ever going to do a picture, I'll say this, right, to all you artists out there, right, and it's a portrait or a likeness of, I don't know, some person who's in the media, legend, whatever, please make it look like them. So many artists out there do portrait pictures of artists and it looks nothing like them. Does that look like Jimi Hendrix? It looks like Jimi Hendrix. No, it's frustrating as an artist. You know, these people get props for doing half-ass work. What's that about? Another little abstract thing called the honeycomb. I think it's called that. Something like that. Or the beehive. You know, got a little sort of wasp in here. You know, this could be like a hive. That was one of the paintings in Song. So, you know, you could say from Madonna to Boy George, you know what I mean, to Timberland, all of them have looked at this. What else have we got? Oh, some outlines. These are all like wild styles. This one's just done with a biro pen. And as I did other ones, I think this one was with biro pen and Sharpie. And then the last one was just with a Sharpie. I came from school one day. In between these houses where we used to break on concrete, on these concrete slabs, I went and got some pastel crayons from the newsagent. Didn't rack them, bought them. And it was about, what, 5 pence, 10 pence, you know, it's the early 80s, real cheap. And I don't know why I did this. Where we would break, I got these pastel crayons out and it said tough stuff. The letters were all jiggity jaggedy something, looked like shit, yeah? Really looked, you know, rudimentary, low level. I put a star behind it. Don't know why I did a star, but I did a star behind these letters, what said tough stuff. Can't remember the colours. And this was in pastel crayons. But anyway, finished it. I was on my own, there was nobody else there. That day, when all the kids on the estate were like b-boying or just hanging out, whatever, saw it, all of a sudden, everyone thought they were in New York. They were like, this is the Bronx. This is the Bronx. What that ended up happening off that one thing, all right? The older kids burnt the park down, decided smashing loads of windows in the estate. So there's thousands of people live on the estate and just like smashing windows, burgling houses, burning cars out. They wanted to, off this one thing, really the older kids wanted this estate to look like the Bronx. Within a period of months, kids from all over the city came to that estate for that one reason. So that became the place to hang out at night for kids in my hometown, for that reason. It was the only place in the city that had graffiti, b-boys, and looked like shit. I'm going to take you to my little classic stash of old paint. So we've got old American paint, we've got old English paint. So what we're going to start with, We got an English can. This is Finnegan's Smooth Right, green. They came in black, white, red, green and blue, just 5 colours. You know, the car brands, like Duplicolor, this is Olympic Blue. Yeah, this was, you know, compared to sort of Smooth Right, this is pretty watery. We got another English brand, Car Plan. This is still around to this day. This is Tartan Red. If we pick a few other cans, we've got a small Olympic Blue here, the small cans. And it's funny that certain cities you associated certain colours with. American brand, Flecto, purple. This was sort of ghetto paint. If you went to your mom and pop store in your local hood, yeah, this was another ghetto can, you know, Groco. Yeah, if you couldn't get Cascade Green, Rusto, yeah, with the original Irish guy on. These, look, yo, you feel the weight of that, you feel the lead in there. You know, all old brands. You know, what else we got here? Another ghetto brand, Whiz-On. Yeah, another ghetto brand. Inner City, you know, hood brand. What else we got here? What else we got? Here you go, Hard Hat Rusto. Yeah, 15 ounces of pure destruction. Or another Australian orange. You know, if you went, you can't even hear the ball go up and down in that. It's just pure lead. What else we got in here? What else we got? Another classic can, Red Devil. Premium quality, supreme quality Red Devil. For guys what painted on the trains in the 70s and early 80s, this was the shit. Krylon's 13 ounce. You know, not metal cans, paper label, paper. The weight of that is unreal. Another brand, Wet Look. Another one, these were rare for a moment. These like the mini Rustos, speedy dries. Shit. Yeah, and so sort of these could fit in your pocket. If you've got a bigger can in your pocket, look, you can see that. Yeah, that's sticking out. If I've got that in my pocket or my jacket or my sleeve of my coat, I can use that. You don't even know. We're hanging out on the estate on Marmion. Me, Simon Bromwich, Andrew Bromwich, Richard Todd, all the older guys, Ribs, I don't know, whoever was there, the local guys, yeah, all the ones what were into hip hop, b-boying, were all there. Anyway, Richard Todd and Simon Bromwich, who were known as Captain Skillful, that was Simon Bromwich, yeah, and Richard Todd, as I said already, was known as Flexmaster T. I was the one who had no name. Everybody else had some kind of, given himself some kind of street name. Andrew Bromwich was Mr. C, Ribs was Ribs, yeah, his problem was Paul Waters. I had no name. They called me Mongers, but hated it. So all the time I'd ignore it, I'd ignored it. You know what I mean? It's like, someone come, ignore it, it'll go away. But I had no name, as in a writing name or a tag name, if you want to say like that. Anyway, this Saturday, it was summertime, I think it was September if I'm right. Those two goes, come on, all right, we'll go in wherever. I can't remember what was said, but I followed them to Ken's Autos on Carlton Road, and it's still there to this day. Same store, same owners, even the layout's the fucking same. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that after 37 years. So anyway, we go to Ken's Autos. What I didn't realise is we were going to steal paint. Now, in writing, or as you'll know it as graffiti, but it's actually called writing, stealing is known as racking, because paint is on a rack. So you're taking it off the rack, hence the word racking. So we're going to rack paint. I didn't know this. We get in the store and they tell me, like, steal paint. I'd never stolen anything in my life. And all of a sudden, I start shitting myself. Out of nowhere, I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Because if I don't do this, I get beat up. Because they're 16, 17, 18, and I'm 13. What do I do? I just gritted my teeth, held my balls, as they say. I took a can of Hermetite black, it was Car Plan red, and a Hermetite white. That was it, 3 cans. I think they took a can each. So we got this paint, went out the store, nobody saw nothing. My little art was going 10 to the dozen up. Seriously, I could have had a heart attack there and then, because this is a first. You know, it's like, I've never stolen something before. We go back to the estate on Marmion. Those guys give me the paint. And I'm looking at this paint, like, what do you want me to do? I don't know. I did not know writing was done with aerosol paint. I did not know. So I'm looking at this paint, what we've just stolen, which I didn't want to steal, which I stole because of peer pressure. And now you're giving it to me, and we're on the park, and there's this orange sort of brick wall, and you're going, do something. What do I do? Through being scared again, or you know, and this is fear of getting a beating. No shit. Yeah, I get the paint, and not as it is nowadays where you'd sketch it up with whatever colour and fill it in. I went straight on this raw brick with this black hematite, and once again it was b-boy terminology. It said pow, break, pow, pop, you know, just things we heard and what was said. I remember putting a spider web cloud or something round it, but as years went by, I couldn't visually see it because I didn't have no photograph of nothing. Now, this sort of spider web cloud thing, we ran out of black hematite. So we're there and I'm looking at this thing and it looks sort of finished, but not finished, you know? And I'm going, we need to go back to the store. We need to get some more paint. No kids had come with me. I go back to that store on my own. I get the balls, convince myself that I'm gonna go to the store, and if I have to run in there, grab a can of paint, and the Asian guy sees me. If he sees me, shouts me, chases me, he's going to have to chase me and beat me down to stop me. I'm getting that can of paint. Went to the store, went in there, didn't even glance me. Went to the rack, got another black can of hematite, walked out there, he knew nothing. Went back to my army estate, finished this POW piece, spiderweb cloud, whatever. Rest of the day was a blur. That was the shit. That was Saturday. Sunday came, out of nowhere. I found myself on my own at Ken's Autos, racking paint. The next day, Sunday morning, he's in there again. I didn't even think that he might recognise me from the day before. None of that, all I wanted was the paint. And my same mindset was the same. I'm gonna run out this shop if he sees me with the paint. Not without it, with it, yeah? I was on the park. I remember being there, standing on my own, nobody was with me. I looked up at the side of a building. I'm putting this thing in the middle of that wall so everybody from everywhere can see it who comes to this park. Needed ladders. I climbed over this 10-foot fence, went into this yard because it was all locked up, pushed over these, each one was 18-foot ladders, these fucking, I remember heavy wooden fucking ladders, man. Pushed them over, dragged them over to the side of this wall, put them to the height of where I wanted them, and I did a piece saying scratch. I even put a shadow on it. Even that, I even think now, what did I know about shadows? I think this is why I have a strong relation with the old school guys in New York from the early 70s, because how they developed, when we've had conversation, is very similar to how I developed, even though we're in different countries and we're totally of a different era. Because I had no knowledge, you're just doing things instinctively. It's like they'll talk about, yeah, I just did a dot and I just did a star and I just did like, you know, a love art or a spade what I saw on a playing card that day. That's how it came about. It was instinctive. Not like now, it's all done for you. Original styles are hard to find because everybody's copying everybody. An artist nowadays thinks he's good, but he's just regurgitating what's already been done. He's just technically better because of the paint. That don't mean you've got style. Yeah, you need to understand that. You ready to roll?
Yeah, rolling.
Alright, there's rare things in writing and there's rare things in writing. Everybody can have rare photographs and old photographs, what's required. But this has taken about 25 years to accumulate the names. So it was something which I carried around in my bag with me. And if you came across certain individuals,
then it was a case of put your name on the shirt. So this is rear. You got, there's guys on this who are past, you know, guys who are still around. But everybody on here is from the 70s. And all prominent names. There ain't no wannabes on here. Chain 3, Midge, Crying 79, Sonny 107, Paul, K's FBA, Cool Keto, Cap, you know, who don't know about Cap, Vinny 3YB, Tony 164, Butch 2, Quick, Tracy 168, Stylemaster, Blade, Boots 119, Saw, K, Checker, Diamond 39, Strider, Fed, Charmin, Dynamic Spear, Mike 171. No one's ever seen this. It's like, if you put your name on it when I asked you if you were one of these guys, then you saw it then it went back in a bag. And I've got to say, there was a few times when I pulled this out in New York and certain people's eyes lit up. And you're like, they're thinking, you know what, yeah, let me keep an eye on my bag, because if something goes missing, I know who's taking it.